Welcome back. We are alive. In this video, we will be talking about the Guardian Druid talent tree, that is the tank, going into Dragonflight, the new talent tree system for Guardian Druids. We will be taking a hopefully in-depth and informative look as a Guardian Druid player. Currently, right now, I love my Guardian Druid. Guardians Druids are kind of almost like a one-trick pony right now, but it is fine. You have a blast playing them anyway. You simply go into bear form, you pop your Berserk or Incarnation Guardian of Ursak, right? If you're talently spec'd into it. You pop your Ravenous Frenzy and just watch the damage go. You bam, bam. And just like that, you watch the damage ramp. And Ravenous Frenzy keeps increasing the percentage of the damage you do and also increasing your haste. You keep looking at all those crits, those beautiful crits, spamming all the damage. We are up to 30k damage, 64% increased damage, and haste. On top of fact, we are gaining 40 stacks of Euphoria and have this huge absorption shield. We end up putting Architect's Aligner on us, which I believe is from our tier set, Thrash, Volatile, stuff like that. We are able to pump out a huge, decent amount of damage. Then we're not able to do it again for another 3 minutes. I honestly believe that some of the changes that they are making to Druid Bear Tank coming up in the next expansion, since we are going to be losing certain Covenant abilities, I do not see Ravenous Frenzy. At least I did not see it in the new talent tree system. I am double checking. No, there is not. There is an ability that kind of looks like it, and that's what we're going to discuss. The many options as of right now, Guardian Druids, they spam your Thrash, spam your Iron Furs. You keep spamming your Iron Furs, and your armor can get to insane amounts. If you need to, you can go Berserk. Make sure you spam multiple stacks of Iron Fur. Iron Fur currently only lasts a few seconds. And I believe they actually buffed that in the new Iron Fur. Iron Fur lasts 7 seconds. It will last 7 seconds in the new. We can actually take a point to increase that duration to 9 seconds. But we are not going to do that. We are going to be doing this instead. Normally you do mangle and maul. Single target damage in bear form is abysmal. It's 100% abysmal. It's like you didn't even show up to the party. There are ways for you to actually get decent damage, but not at the same level that you would have gotten it regularly. Normally, on single target, you would want to spam your Thrash to get 3%, 3 stacks, making sure that you get your shield. You get your shield from, of course, let's go over here, your legendary. Thrash grants you an absorb shield, 75% of all the damage done. Ursak's Fury. You should not take any other legendary. If you do, I guess that's on you. This basically makes you immortal. You can spam Thrash, pull the biggest pulls, and for 30 seconds you can't die. On top of the fact you're doing insane amount of DPS by simply clicking one button. Shh, don't tell anybody. But, hey, we are still on the lowest totem pole almost for tanks as of right now. Not as low as the brown guy, who we will not mention. Warrior's name, but we are still right along there with them. So we are going to show you the damage on a single target build. We are Moonfire, man. Get our Thrash up, pop our thing, get our 3 stacks, Mangle. If you look at the damage of Thrash, Mangle, you can actually do more damage with Thrash because you have a chance to proc 2 additional Thrashes and it spams faster. The damage is pretty much abysmal. Of course, you can be stacking numerous stacks of Armored Fur. I've gotten up to 10 plus before, giving me this insane amount of armor, making it taking almost little to no damage. Problem therein lacks the damage, which we are going to bring up today, the damage and healing. Currently, right now, there's a lot that argue a Guardian Druid. They will take the balance affinity. It gives us a little bit more versatility because it increases our range. Birds don't have a lot of stuff in their toolkit going on. And I don't know why I don't have this done already. Where is it? Put you there. Boom. Been meaning to do that. Don't blame me. Bears don't have too much in the way of utility going on. We have Incapacitating Roar, AoE Hard CC. It doesn't work on a lot of mobs. Certain mobs are immune to it. You need to do casters. You need to interrupt certain mythic dungeons. This is your go-to. Other than that, of course, we have our stun. Necrotic Weak, Ursox Fury. You pop Ursox Fury on the group. You pop your Stampeding Roar, you run away from them. Ursox Vortex actually keeps them in place, not allowing them to move. So, with that being said, let's see here real quick. So with that being said, that's pretty much what we got. That's about it. I got the Growl and Moonfire actually macroed, so I can spam it. I can hit run up to a target, Growl. And now as I'm running away, I can do damage. Growl and Moonfire a target as I'm on the run. I highly suggest you make the macro. I think this macro will be highly used in the new expansion for certain reasons. One of the things I want to bring up is we are losing this for tanks who want a little bit more tankiness instead of the versatility of the balance affinity. You could also in this talent tree take the feline affinity, but it will make you a little bit quicker, give you a little bit more movement speed to dodge mechanics. The next expansion, thankfully, you don't have to worry about that. You could take these two, but this is going to be removed from the talent tree altogether, at least from what I could see, and I will show you. This is actually extremely powerful. Right now I am a bear tank that has over 130,000 HP on me. That equivalates to more or less every 5 seconds me healing myself for 3,900 damage. That is a lot. That is a lot of self-healing. That is a lot of survivability. We are going to be losing this, but instead they have put something else. So now let's get to it. The talent tree. As you can see here on the talent tree, you have, of course, your main druid spec. It's pretty much split up to where feral, guardian, healing, and balance. Druid, you go down the line, you pick the stuff that you want, but it does have a little bit of separation of the things. If you went balanced affinity before, which would be on the talent tree currently, you could pick up Typhoon, and you'd pick up that additional 3-yard radius that allowed you to actually have a little bit more AoE, a cleave mobility. doing pulls. This is now moved way over here, so feral or tanks would have a tough time picking it up. It would be possible, but you would have to sacrifice quite a lot getting into it. To start the talent tree, here's your frenzy regeneration, obviously. You're going to pick up Thrash, I believe is a staple of all bear tanks, to put that bleeding damage on them. Bark Skin is going to improve the duration of Bark Skin by 4 seconds. Highly recommend it. Improved Frenzy duration, Frenzy and regeneration in Bark Skin. Increase all healing received by 20%, making us way more tankier is what we want. There's a swipe. Have to spec into it. Killer Instincts. Physical damage and armor increased by 6%. No brainer. I mean, this is going to make us more tankier. It's going to give us the damage that we need, or the armor that we need. Increase armor by 100, by agility by 100 for 7 seconds. Iron Fur. We already know what this does. We will be stacking this and using most of our rage on this. We are going to go into Rip and Maim. One could make an argument that you don't need these two at all, and you can come down this tree to maybe get this. Once again, here it is. We are on the second tier. We've spent 8 points, probably more than 8 points. We went with Rip and Maim, so this way when you're out and about doing PvE content, we want to be able to switch into cat form and clear content a little bit easier. So we went with this. It seems legit. Feline Swiftness is making an appearance again. This was in the talent tree. This was on that same spec where if you went feral affinity, you can increase your maximum movement. It's conveniently set up here where we only need to spend 1 point to get to it. We have to put 2 points in to get it, but 3 seconds after leaving cat form or travel form, retain up to 40% movement speed. That could be very useful for a lot of situations. Moving in and out of mythics, switching from bear to cat form, and so on would give you a huge buff to your mobility, your Primal Fury, which is the bite. Once again, PvE mechanic. We're only taking these two and this. If we had to, if this was moved over to the side and this tree came down like this, I wish this was preferred. I wish it was Feline Fitness into Tireless Pursuit. And this was another branch off of Primal Fury that you could take that you weren't forced to take. I believe that would be a better option, because then it would save 1 point for tanks who want to come down this way but don't want to come here. You could make an argument that you could get rid of this, and we will talk about that in a second. There's our Skull Bash for our Interrupt. Thick High reduces all damage taken by 6%. Lovely. Fly to a nearby ally's position. More mobility for raids and mythics. If we just take this, of course we lose all our points. But it was either Tiger Dash, shift into cat form, increase your movement speed by 200, reducing gradually. I could see an argument to be made this, but I also can see Wild Charge being highly useful in a lot of other situations over the cat mobility. We are going to come down here to grab Soothe to take those things out of Berserk. Stampeding Roar, which is going to give us huge mobility. Mythic, give us a little bit of utility. I want to say so far our first, maybe second utility that we can actually help in raid or mythic scenarios. Okay. Bark Skin, Ursock's Endurance. When using Bark Skin or Survival Instincts, absorbs. Lovely. Let's take it. Now we're going to come down here to this. Lyric's Teaching. You gain 2% of a stat while in each form. Bear form, you get versatility. We are going to take that. 6% versatility is huge. So, wish we didn't have to spend 3 points into it, but we are going to be taking Renewal. It's going to give us a little bit more tankiness. It's on a 1.5 minute cooldown. 30% of our max health. It's going to help us out a lot, and we are going to be taking Heart of the Wild. Before, Heart of the Wild did used to be different, but now Guardian Bear form gives an additional 20% stamina. Multiple uses of Iron Fur may overlap, and Frenzy Regeneration now has 2 charges. I don't know if that's passive or if when you pick that, it automatically gives you 2 more forms of Frenzy Regeneration. I'm not 100% sure. We are going to be picking this up because when we switch into Pharaoh form, magical damage increased by 30% and Star Surge is instant. I believe that will help us. If Pharaoh physical damage increased by 30%, this will help us in PvE settings, certain content. Stampeding War, we could reduce the cooldown of Stampeding War, being it as it is 2 minutes. That would give us a little bit more utility, but we're going to go for 4 seconds after shifting into bear form. Your health and armor are increased by 10%. This would allow us to use travel form or cat form, which we will probably switching in and out of. Switching into a cat form, and then right as we come up to a mob, switch into bear form. You use your growl macro that will pop you into bear form immediately, increasing your health and armor by 10%, up to 20% for the first 4 seconds upon pulls. That would be huge. We are going to be picking Incapacitating Roar, so this way we have another utility that apparently we're going to have to, it's a diamond spec. When you fall below 40% health, you cost Frenzy Regeneration once every 120 seconds. 2 points into it to give us 90 seconds. That's huge survivability. A free Frenzied Regeneration is more than welcome. Furor. When you shift into a form that you haven't been in for 15 seconds, abilities cost no mana. We've thought about picking this. You have 31 points. Do we need to pick it? Let's pick it. Now let's talk about the first. Let's talk about the baby, which is, do we need these? No, we do not. But technically, one can make an argument that if you want to get Remove Corruption, which would give us a little bit more, I would say, utility, especially in Mythics and in Raids, you would have to go down this tree just to get Remove Corruption, so bears will probably not be having this. If we removed these 3 points, it still would probably not give us enough to come down this tree. We will end up having to take everything all over, which is not a problem. Let's try it and find out. We will remove this one, this one, this one. We will take 1, 2, 3, remove corruption, and now we're down into the next tree. Skull Bash, but there you are. Now you cannot take your feline swiftness. You can, however, take this. Healing done and healing taken increases by 3%. This is not the original talent. The original talent was your Sock's Gift. Heals you for 3% of your maximum health every 5 seconds. If you are full of health, an injured party member instead will be healed. This is huge. This gave druids tanks a natural healing ability in raid. If for any reason you were off tank and you were on full health, you would be spamming this to the melee every 5 seconds, healing them for much needed health, helping the healers out, and it's all passive. This has been removed. Why, I do not know. So we will not be taking this route because it is, I guess you could say, the greater of the 2 evils. Wild Charge, Bark Skin, boom, just like that. Incapacitating Roar, Survival Instincts. Then we will be taking 3 points into this. Big point sink. Thank you very much, Blizzard, for the point sink. Love it, love it, love it. Go back into here and go back into here. I believe we have 2 points left, which we will be going to this. Thank you so much for the point sync, Blizzard. We appreciate you. We see you. I am missing something else because I have 1 point available. Yeah, cost no matter and Astral Power Rage. I believe it was this. One can make an argument if you are constantly shifting forms, but it applies 15 seconds. Depending on how big the areas are, I was told, and I've seen people make videos of the new Dragon Isles already, saying that some of the dungeons are actually bigger, the packs are a little bit more spread out. so on and so forth. That would make this make more sense, and you would take it over this. So we are going to pick that. That concludes it. Let's get back to the bear tree. Let's see what you got for us, Blizzard. This is the route we have taken. I know a lot of other people may or may not agree with it. We will be explaining the reason why we went this route. Maul, they are really, from what I heard, Maul hits like a truck. There is a mechanic that you can make Maul hit like a truck. Single target damage, greatly increasing it. That is extremely welcome for bears. So we will be taking Maul, obviously no choice. Gore, Thrash, Swipe, Moonfire, and Maul have a 15% chance to reset the cooldown of Mangle and it to cause it to generate an additional 4 rage. Survival Instincts reduces the cooldown damage you take by 50% for 6 seconds. That's a gimme. Survival Instincts now has 2 charges. Much welcomed. That puts us back to where we originally were before Dragonflight. You've seen Adept. Moonfire, Soothe, Remove Corruption, and Rebirth are usable in bear form. Well, this would make sense. If you were able to pick this ability and automatically given Soothe, Remove Corruption, and Rebirth. I think you're already, Druids are already given Rebirth. I'd have to check the natural talent tree. Some specs have a certain amount of passive spells or a certain amount of spells that are automatically given to them. They do not have to spec into them. They don't have to talent to them. They're just given to them. So this would make so much more sense if you could do this instead of having to do the corruption, so on and so forth. Taking this gives us our Remove Corruption, our Soothe, our Moonfire, the whole 9 yards. We would take this away, okay? Make those something like this on almost every other tree where it's a point that they could take and they get those abilities. And bravo, Blizzard. That would be amazing if you did that. All damage taken in bear form is reduced by 10%. Why not take this? Just for the all damage taken in bear form is reduced by another 10%. I love it. But we need to talk about the Moonfire Soothe Corruption thing. Rebirth, usable in bear form. Multiple uses of Ironfur can overlap. Go Berserk for 15 seconds, reducing the cooldown of Mangle, Thrash, and Growl by 100%. Growl, why not Maul? That would make more sense, but whatever. We're going to take this. Mangle deals 20% additional damage against bleeding targets, and we are going to take infected wounds, give us a little bit more utility. While Mangle and Maul hits an affected target, the target's movement speed is reduced by 50% for 12 seconds. Lovely. Innovate, Resolve, Regrowth, and Frenzy Regeneration. Healing is increased by 20% on yourself. Frenzy Regeneration has additional charge. Much, much welcome, especially since Frenzy Regeneration only has 1 charge right here. This allows us to get 2 charges out of it. And I believe that puts us... Does that put us back up? With that puts us back up with pre-Dragonflight. We will take that into Tooth and Claw. Auto attacks have a 20% chance, which is nice. Better than some of the other specs. Percentage chance for auto. 20% chance to empower your next Maul, stacking up to 2 times. So this can actually, you can let it stack up twice. Empower Maul does 40% increased damage and reduces the target's damage to you by 15% for 6 seconds. Huge tanking ability right there. Huge tanking opportunity. We are taking that. We are skipping some of this other stuff. We are taking Layered Main. Ironfur has a 20% chance to apply 2 stacks of Ironfur. And Frenzy Regeneration has a 10% chance not to consume the charge, giving us a 10% chance when applying Frenzy Regeneration to not use any Frenzy Regeneration at all. Thrash has a 20% chance to trigger an additional Thrash. Love it. This is exactly what we want as it is right now. Thrash does not do that. I believe, where is it? I am looking. I believe that is a return. Where is it? Here's your subs adept. Where is it? By the way, this is, I'm looking on the other tree. This is a talent that we would normally not take. We would normally take Rend and Tear. Each stack of Thrash reduces the target damage dealt by 2%, increases damage you deal to them, which I believe has been moved all the way down here. So we are taking a talent that normally we wouldn't take, and we are moving the talent down here, and we're possibly not going to take that talent. I don't know why I'm blanking here right now, but I honestly can't remember the ability that gives us a chance to trigger an additional Thrash, and I can't seem to remember remember it. Hold on, we're gonna find this. We're gonna discover this. There it is. Our legendary. Ursox Fury Remembered, which is this. They split it. Just so you know. Ursox Fury Remembered used to read before. Equip in bear form, Thrash has a 15% chance to trigger an additional Thrash. Thrash grants you an absorb shield of 75% of all damage dealt. They split it. Thrash and Maul grants you an absorb shield for 75% damage dealt, but Thrash has an additional chance to trigger an additional Thrash. This is the same ability as the legendary of Ursox Fury Remembered, but split up. I don't know how I feel about that. I honestly don't. I think it was fine the way it was. It was not overpowered. It did not break the bank for the bear. We were not on top DPS in any means whatsoever. I believe you have a chance to fix this. I believe it should be fixed. I don't know why you split them up. Maybe it's because you want to make it, give the illusion like a magic trick. Oh, look, we're giving you more options on the bear, when in fact you're taking the same options we already had and now nerfing them by splitting them and having us to spec into two different talents just to get the same thing back. Don't think we were fooled, Blizzard. We are going to be taking the Moonfire, reduces damage dealt to you by 4%. This is nice. This can be applied AoE now. With Moonfire, does 20% increased damage and also hits another target enemy within 15 yards. Also, it will reduce the damage that target deals to us. We're taking Galactic Guardian because why not? It sounds fun. Your damage, if it works this way, your damage has 5% chance to trigger a free automatic Moonfire on the target. When this occurs, the next Moonfire you cast generates 8 rage and deals 300% increased damage. That is very nice. Now, the damage of Galactic Guardian, as long as this applies to all bleed effects, all thrash effects, all AoE effects, and it has a 5% chance, I can totally understand why the damage would be that low, or the percent chance to proc would be that low. If it doesn't apply to all the damage, like it says, your damage, then we would have to talk about it. I'm not too sure of how in Dragonflight if they are going to change it. Reason why I'm saying this is because more or less I understand how it works now. But this can't be guaranteed, just like this and this, that it's going to be working the same come Dragonflight. So we are taking this because going Berserk reduces the cooldown of Frenzy Regeneration. We are taking it because we'll talk about it in a second. Reinforced Fur. Iron Fur increases armor by an additional 4%, and Bark Skin reduces the damage by an additional 5%. One talent into it. We love it. Berserk Persistence. Go Berserk for 15 seconds, reducing the cooldown of Frenzied Regeneration by 100% and the cost of Iron Fur by 50%. This could be very interesting. We would have the survivability and quite a possibility to actually get fairly tanky with physical hits. However, this does not help us with magical hits. Seeing it, Iron Fur only increases our armor. I'm not too sure how this would work. While in bear form, you deal 20% increased arcane damage. While in bear form, you deal 30% increased arcane damage. So this is a bump up of 50% increased arcane damage, and you are healed by 30% of all the arcane damage done. So the only reason why we went for this is because we are hoping that our damage, we are getting multiple Moonfires on all the targets, free casting. We're hoping that all the damage on everything is being reduced to us, and we are hoping that Moonfire deals 20% increased damage, also hits another target. But it says Moonfire's damage is increased by 20% damage and is also hits another target. Does that count for this? So when your periodic damage triggers a free automatic Moonfire, will it automatically hit that target and another target? If it does, this is actually huge, because this would make up for the resto affinity of your Sir's gift, where we were healing ourselves for 3% of our max health. This would take its place. We increased and buffed the arcane damage, and while in bear form, we are healed by 30% of all the arcane damage done. That would make us very, very, very tanky. And one of the reasons why I actually went this way, it would give us a huge amount of cleave damage as well as making us very survivable, or have higher survivability. Sorry. Earth Warden makes its return as far as the talents. We are going to be taking it because it is a beautiful ability that synergizes with Thrash. This will synergize with Thrash, with Moonfire, giving us, when you deal direct damage with Thrash, you gain a chance on Earth Warden, reducing the damage you take of the next auto attack by 30%. You couple that in by 4% reduced damage and all the other damage mitigation. We are talking a very, very beefy, tanky bear. Go Berserk as 15%, increasing haste by 15%. This I want to say, and reducing the rage cost of your Maul by 50%. I want to say this is a remix, a mixtape of the original Ravenous Frenzy. Ravenous Frenzy, when popped earlier during the beginning of the video, I showed you Druid spells you cast increase your damage and healing by 2% and haste by 1%, and it's stacked. If he presents 2 seconds idle, Frenzy overcomes you and it stuns you. We don't care about that. I believe this is a remake. Going Berserk for 15 seconds increases your haste by 15% and reducing the rage cost of Maul by 50%. It's kind of not the same, and kind of is. Once again, I believe it's an ability. It's not a new ability. I believe it's just a remade ability and then repurposed. That increased rage during Berserk when we are spamming Thrash is going to be well received, and with Druids not having a lot of going for them in the way of damage, we will greatly take that. Frenzy Regeneration cooldown is reduced by another 30%. We would like to see this moved over, not an option that we have to take, because this, I mean, it's cooldown, I mean, it's fine, but we would like to see less talents in the tree that we're forced to take instead of less talents in the tree that we want to take. it's a no-brainer coming down a certain way and just picking stuff because you're happy to come down that path. Having stuff thrown in you, Frenzy Regeneration's cooldown is reduced by X amount of time. We are going to be getting huge amounts of Frenzied Regeneration procs. I'm not going to spoil, no spoilers, but this is welcomed, but I don't think, depending on how the rest of the spec plays, this might be needed. I honestly don't. We'll see, but I honestly would like to see this moved out to the side, and this be made a spec where you goes from here to these two, and then down, and this moved over to the side. That'd be fine. That would allow us to take another ability or two that we do want versus something that kind of gives us a little more survivability, but until we see the way the class plays, this honestly, in my opinion, may not be needed. We're going to take Ursox Fury. Before, it was Dream of Sonaris. When you take non-periodic damage, you have a chance to your critical strike, equal to your critical strike, to cause your next regrowth to be instant, free, and castable in all forms. That would give us a huge amount of survivability, but Thrash and Maul grant you an absorb shield for 75%. The Ursox Fury, it makes its comeback, and we will be taking that. 75% of the damage absorbed versus only healing us. The absorption shield greatly trumps us healing ourselves, because we will heal like crap. We are not a healing spec, so healing our own selves does diddly squat. Ursox Fury is the clear winner. If we were able to come down here, we have increased the damage and radius of Thrash by 25%, which is huge. Then we have Rend and Tear, which I believe is a talent that we are already spec'ing currently. Each stack of Thrash reduces the target's damage to you by 2%, increases your damage to them by 2%. We use it in AoE scenarios, so on and so forth. Because Pulverize and Tooth and Claw currently are not meta. Maul, even though Blizzard has currently buffed it, going into season at the end of season 3, going to season 4, does diddly squat damage. It does nothing. It does nothing. We still just spam Thrash and Mangle. Don't waste your time on Maul. If you're using Maul, please don't stop it. Put it down. Walk away. Right now, currently in the current expansion of Shadowlands, it's not worth it. Maybe in the future, Rend and Tear would be noticeable, but we can't pick it. We've spent too many talent points sinking into certain things that we probably should only be one talent point, or if not, moved off to the side so we didn't have to pick them. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. This will be our thing. Convoke the Spirits does make a return. Incarnation Guardian makes a return. You could go down, argue your damage over time effects, do their damage 25% less, and your healing over time effects heals you for 15% less. This would be huge because then the Moonfire damage that being done would actually increase the amount of healing that you are receiving. We would love to pick this, but we can't. I believe if I get rid of this, there's 2 points into this, and we could actually spec into this. Well, can't. Only got 1 point. So let's remove this. Well, it might be broken because I don't see a change. This might change over time. But currently, in its current state, I would love to spend 1 point to have stuff and to be able to heal more and do more damage with Arcane. That would make this spec so much fun, but this seems to be a problem.
Come down and say hi, Kraken.
Hold on 1 second.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? No, I'm streaming right now. I'm going over the talent trees. No, you're fine. I just need to finish doing all this stuff, and I'll come up once I'm done. I'm going over. I'm probably gonna be busy for the most of the day, going over every single talent. If you want to, you can see it. I'm actually streaming it on my channel, and you can see I'm going over all the talent trees. Oh, it's in the general chat. You can click in it and subscribe to it, and then you can see currently what I'm talking about. I'm going over in depth all the trees, all the talents, so on and so forth. So hopefully, if people are interested in playing the new expansion, which I know everybody is, I highly recommend everybody to watch the videos on the talent trees to give them some insight as to the stuff that's possible with their the new talent tree systems. No, 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 no. Go all the way up to general chat. When you get to the general chat at the very top, three from the top, you'll see that I posted my channel, the last video that I posted. You can go to that and subscribe, and then go to the channel, and you'll see right now I'm currently streaming. Yep, but I will take all the videos and I'll end up posting the videos one by one into chat. If y'all don't want to watch the stream, y'all can always watch them back later. No problem. You too. All right. We are back. So this is what we're left with at the end of the day. I believe it is a very viable, possibly looks like a different build, kind of giving us a little stuff, but we lose um, quite a bit of stuff with this. I mean, I believe, where is it? Ursaw's Vortex, we no longer have it. Typhoon, not even an option. Hibernation, not even an option. Um, there's Innervate. I mean, would love to see Bear be able to use Innervate, especially for raid, some mythic content scenarios. But um, it seems like we actually have less utility. We do have a little bit more access to things that we didn't have access quite before. Make comments on the bottom. Let me know what you think of the new talent tree. For now, until it changes, this is our rendition of it. There are other things in here: Soul of the Forest, Guardian of Loom, so on and so forth. But they don't stack up, in my opinion. And you can't even get them. You can only spend this many points because we've wasted quite a bit of points to go all these routes to make what I believe would probably be a fun AoE slash single target damage build. We are not taking the vicious cycle. The vicious cycle would love to take it, but I mean, make this one talent point, move this off to the side so we don't have to take it, give us 3 more talent points. This, if you want to leave it with 2 talent points, fine, whatever. Iron Fur has a 20% chance to stack an additional one. I believe currently, right now, where is it? Let me just make sure. I know it's a talent somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. I just can't freaking find it. I know that there's an ability already here that allows Iron Fur to stack up an additional time, but I just can't find it. Either way, it's an option we already have. I don't feel we should need to play two into this, make this one, make this, move out to the side. Maybe we can actually have more fun with this talent tree. But make, like I said, make your comments. What you think, how are you going to be playing your build in the next expansion? Until then, y'all have